Hello techies. Welcome to our brand new video series focused on helping you get the most of your experiences in life. Before we start the video, let's know about Upptalk. Upptalk is a live, interactive platform for software training, furnishing robust personalities who could take on universal business platforms.
If you are defining hiring restrictions, there is only going to be one hiring restriction. You cannot have 5 hiring restrictions in a supervised organization. It will be only one. So define it in a broad panel. Now can you change the hiring restrictions after you create it? What do you think? Yes, no, maybe. Can it change hiring restrictions after you create? Yes, you can. Yeah, you can. So you can change the hiring restrictions later as well. Right. So what does this job management do? It moves the approval for a new job to the hire process instead of position creation. So, instead of going for a rules for each position, it moves the approval to the hire process. Right. That's what it is. So, Krishna, we change the hiring restrictions between the hires. Is that allowed? Yeah. If you hire someone with a previous restriction and then change the restriction, yeah, then it applies for the next person you are going to have. It doesn't change the person you have already hired. Doesn't matter? Right. So let's say you are looking for people with 5 years of experience. Right. You started hiring. You get only 2 people you hire. And now you say, think that okay, 5 years, I think is too much. I think we need people with 3+ years of experience. Right. So you go and change that, and then you start hiring again. But when that changed the other 2 workers that we have already hired, the answer is no, yeah. Right. The next person you are going to hire will have to meet the new set of restrictions. Okay. Let's take a quick look at a quick use case. So Ralph Manage is a great team of software application specialists in a startup company and needs the flexibility to hire workers with a wide range of skills, backgrounds, qualifications, and work references. And the organization doesn't want to restrict his ability to fill the jobs as the right people become available. So what needs to happen? During the growing needs from an expanding customer base, Ralph needs to increase the size of his team in the areas of product management, development, documentation, and QA. He meets with his manager to outline his requirements and receives a verbal agreement. You see a verbal agreement to fill 9 additional openings to be allocated as he sees fit. Right. So there are no approval process present in Workday. It is not in the system. It's just a verbal approval. So, after several weeks of interviewing, he has 2 developers and 1 part-time product manager. You see, 2 developers are full-time, but the product manager is part-time, so he's able to hire a mix of full-time versus part-time workers. He still has management blessing to expand his team, and will do so as he finds the right people. So because Ralph needs flexibility when hiring, he's less interested in filling a narrow defined position than in a separate critical mass of employees in the shortest possible time. HR does not require approval for the position prior to job hiring. So in this case, Job management is appropriate, where you do not need approval prior to hiring. Right. So you can go for job management. One step is a little better set. You can change it like once you decide later to make a position management that can have. Okay, so it has. Okay. Can't happen. Can't happen. You have to decide up front. Okay. Inside, up front, what is the strategy you are going to take for this particular supervisor, your organization? Right. Take it up front, because once you start hiring, you cannot change the stuffing model. Okay. So let's quickly do that. So we have quite a few organizations with job management as a stuffing model, right? So here is an organization with job management, and in job management do we create positions? Do we create positions up front? No. So if we go to stuffing, I don't have the option to create a position. Okay, so don't get confused. If you do not get the create position option, here you see, the staffing model is job management. So where should we set the hiring restrictions? Supervisory. At the supervisory organization level? And at which type of organization are we in? Supervisory. So we should be able to set it at the organization level. Correct. Because supervisor is the type of organization. So we go to organization, and we set hiring restrictions. See the menu. Path is slightly different. This is not. We are not going to staffing and create position. We are going to organization and set hiring restrictions. Slightly different. Please make a note of this. Organization set hiring restrictions for job management. Let me check on that. It says OK, hiring restrictions in big bold, and then it's again. Asks for very similar things. Availability date, right? We saw this before. Same thing when we were creating positions. The same thing here as well. Earlier hire date job profile. We are able to do the same job profile training manager, right? We can use the same thing here as well, no problem. The same job profile can be used in a position management or a job management. No, nothing stopping us. Location. Here also we can say rally. Right. It's more or less the same thing. But just that, the approval process, the number of positions, the flexibility is more in terms of a job management. Okay, time type. Let's say full-time worker type. Let's put in as employee. Did you notice one thing? Did it ask me for the number of positions? No. What does that tell me? That there are no restrictions on the number of positions or number of people I'm going to hire. Right. Now, let's do that. Let's take submit. Well, I mean, there is an option. No job restrictions. So in that case, you don't have to put in anything. Yeah, I don't have to put in anything. Now, what is it? No job restrictions. No job restrictions means it's open to all, and everybody can be hired. Right. But does that mean that it has no restrictions at all? No job restrictions is also a restriction. That means you are allowing everybody, full-time workers, part-time workers, contingent workers, employees in any location. Right. That is what no job restrictions means, that you are allowing both full-time and part-time workers, both like contingent workers and employees, and so on. So in your assignments, you will use no job restrictions, because as of now, we are quickly creating the hiring restrictions in like an assignment 2. You will use no job restrictions. But as in when you progress, when you do assignment 3, assignment 4, there you will fine-tune the hiring restrictions. Okay. But now you see here also it says available to fail. Available to fail, okay. So now, if I go and look at the real grad actions of executive, I would see the higher option. I see the higher option. Alright. Now let's look at a little bit of more theory. So when we look at the staffing models and inheritance, so when you create a supervisor, your organization, and you define the staffing model, and then if you create a subordinate, then remember that when we created subordinates, we did not have to specify the staffing model for each and every organization. Right, when we were creating subordinates. And why was that? Inheritage. Because it inherited from the superior organization. It inherited from the superior organization. So this is what is typically the behavior. So when you create an organization and you create a subordinate, the subordinate inheritage, the staffing model, pay attention to the terms I'm using. It inherits the staffing model. What are the two staffing models? Position management and job management. So if the superior has position management and I'm creating a subordinate, the subordinate will inherit the staffing model at the time of creation, which is position management. Let's see. Right. After it is created. After this supervisory organization is created, you can change the staffing model. Okay, but now there is a catch. You can change the staffing model till the time you initiate the staffing activity. Please make a note of it. It's a very important point. You can change the staffing model till the time you initiate the staffing activity. What is the staffing activity? Creating a staffing activity, but it starts with what? Creating the position.